coast. Figures such as $20 a tonne through to $26 a tonne, but with the Greens saying we want it up to $100 a tonne. We need those polluting industries, those industries that have employed so many Australians, those industries that have given us the wealth that we need here to prosper. We want to tax them $100 a tonne. This will drive our business, our employers overseas as they seek the international competitiveness. This will cost Australian jobs. This will hurt families. That is not certainty to the Australian people. Deb O'Neill, the federal member for Robertson, said, "Our carbon price means that the top 1,000 polluters in Australia will pay." Well, what part of a carbon tax paid on goods and services mean that the polluters pay? Coca-Cola Amatil 2 weeks ago said any increased cost under a carbon tax would be passed on to the consumer. Well, what that means, ladies and gentlemen, the top 1,000 polluters won't pay. You, the people of the Central Coast, will pay for this carbon tax, and that is a disgrace. So they talk about compensation. Well, that's all well and good, Mr. Combay, the Climate Change Minister, or whatever title they're going to give it this fortnight. The fact is that he came out and said, that Julia Gillard said that this morning that they promised that over 50% of revenue from a carbon price will be used for compensation. Quickly contradicted by Mr. Combay, who suggested that households wouldn't receive more than 50% of the carbon tax revenue as compensation indefinitely. And what he said, that rather that the level of assistance that will apply for the first year and over a period of years, that is an indefinite solution. So what does that mean? And what does that mean to the carbon tax? Are they going to implement a $20 a tonne carbon tax, and that is going to increase the next year and the next year and the next year and the next year as they strive to bring back the budget that they broke the back of back into surplus? And does it mean that the compensation at around about 50% could be 20% in 3 years' time? These are the questions that the people of Australia are asking, and these are the questions that you're asking as well. Ladies and gentlemen, before I bring up Senator Concetta Fierravanti-Wells, I'd like to introduce to you the gentleman that's come all the way up from Sydney to provide us with this fantastic facility, this purpose-built stage. We'll have to call it the no carbon tax stage, where real people make real decisions and tell the government that they are wrong. So, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Peter Madden.
It's just fantastic to see you out here today. I used to be a Central Coast resident. My mother lives right across the water at Saratoga. I'm very attached to the Central Coast. Look, we've heard a lot about the micro issues, and before Senator Fierravanti-Wells comes, I wanted to just speak into the macro issue. I am very concerned that this Friday the Greens will take the balance of power in the Senate over the whole nation. Are you concerned? Are you concerned? We need to support our senators like Senator Fierravanti-Wells, because the fight is on, the battle is on, and the battle is on for Australia's future. Carbon tax, in actual fact, is a method of control, but what is behind the Greens, what is behind the agenda of this coalition is very, very dangerous to the future generations. And if we don't stand up to be the guardians of the future generation, well, then our nation is going to go down the toilet. Our nation is not going to be the nation that we built. I am very proud of the Australian nation. Yes, carbon tax is going to hurt me financially, but I look at my children and I look at my children's children. When I was a boy, it was an honourable thing to be a politician and a statesman. It was an honourable thing to stand up and stand up on behalf of the people. But we live in a day and age, and we stand at the very day and age when our politicians think that they can get away with telling a lie and then deliberately breaking their covenant with us. And that's why you're out here. Absolutely. That's why you're out here. You know, I did an interview with BBC World Service on Tuesday, and he said, what do you think is going to happen? And I said, when you start seeing the right wing come out by the thousands to protest, and not just the left wing who are out there protesting animal rights or whatever they want to protest, but when you get conservative people so concerned that they are prepared to come out, even communities like this. I was just up in Port Macquarie. We're going to be in Hyde Park with thousands in a couple of weeks. When you start seeing that, you know it's a real cause for concern. And there is about to come a change in this government. And we really need to put the pressure on now. Now is the time to put pressure on this government to see an election before the damage is done. Because I want to tell you, Bob Brown's agenda and Julia Gillard's agenda is going to get worse and worse and worse. And I just want to congratulate you for coming out today. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Peter. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget that the petition's going around. There's a whole heap of them out there. Make sure you sign the petition before you go. And we've got the plebiscite petition down here at the front. It's very, very important that you get your signature on those forms. We have gleaned over 500 of your fellow coastie signatures on that petition over 2 weekends of street stalls. We'll be running street stalls all over the Central Coast, right up to Christmas. We'll be holding 3 more of these rallies on the lead up to Christmas. The next one we're going up into Wyong, then we'll be heading down to the peninsula, and we'll be culminating here with a mass rally to finish off at the end of the year, because then it's 6 months until this carbon tax, this tax that'll hurt families, is implemented by this disastrous government.